but I think they're just afraid right now. Got their heads in the clouds with a mask on the face like a clown. What they gonna say right now, right now? Oh, you wanna be awake right now, right now? Well, you better get real brave right now. Put your knees on the ground, gotta pray to the king with a crown. I have to tell you that we're living deep in the matrix. We in the matrix. Chase all the lies and you'll find that this place was created. You were created, darling. What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now? You about to have a panic attack real quick. Like, sorry, the earth's flat, it's fact, no trick. Just look at the proof and the true measurements. Cause I've been winning arguments against the best physicists. But this, don't know what it is. Lately I've been going around in circles, but I do not for the spin. Oh, this, don't know what it is. But you gotta keep it like a secret, you can't even tell your friends. And if you tell them, they say, how could it be? Don't mean nothing to me, they're gonna pick up and leave. And if you tell them, they say, how could it be? Don't mean nothing to me, they're gonna fall back asleep. What they gonna say right now, right now? Oh, they really wanna hate right now, right now. But I think they're just afraid right now. Got their heads in the clouds with a mask on the face like a clown. What they gonna say right now, right now? Oh, you wanna be awake right now, right now? Well, you better get real brave right now. Put your knees on the ground, gotta pray to the king with a crown. I have to tell you that we're living deep in the matrix. We in the matrix. Chase all the lies and you'll find that this place was created. You were created, darling. What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now? What they gonna say right now?
The world. What's up, everybody? Hopefully that video was glitchy. Oh man. So I will let you know that as soon as I got ready to go live, everything started glitching. So I'm sorry. I do know that normally Rokfin, the quality's better, the audio doesn't mess up, etc. I do have the link down there and I have it for free, so everyone can just watch it for free. I will also show a bit of media in this, and they try to grapple me, so I can hear you talk but not the video. Yeah, I don't know why the video wouldn't work. Here, let me do this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It is what it is. I don't know if it worked better for people on Rokfin. That's what I want to know. But anyway, it is what it is. All right now. I think. Well, look, I'll just read the chat, and you guys tell me if it's Dang, that sucks. I do not want to do it when it's this glitchy. It just sucks. I can't even do great streams anymore, man. I don't know if that'll help. I'm gonna try Rokfin to see if it's better. Cool. Yeah, I just changed the internet. I mean, we have like 70 megabits, which is the best we're gonna do right here. All right, I'm gonna try to play it again with a different connection. You're like Tom Brady. They're trying to retire you, bro. Nah, it's all good. Stay here. I'm gonna play the video again. You guys tell me if it's glitchier. All right, I see a bunch of people saying that was better. It is what it is. Hopefully, you guys get the gist. What can you do? What can you do in a world? So, all right, cool. So I want to do this. I think this is the way that we should break this down from the beginning, right? The first thing that you do whenever you're trying to figure out the truth is you establish a phenomenon and you acknowledge it, right? This comes up a lot with many conspiracies that people think sound crazy and we can't currently explain them, but the evidence doesn't disappear. That's super glitchy. Man, I don't even know. I don't know what else I can do. Sorry. Hopefully you guys can bear with me, man. If I kill the camera, I can try. Let's see. Just keep going. It's all right. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Anyone here that's ever watched Owen, then they're not unfamiliar with this. And it is what it is. It sucks, but I can do nothing about it. I'm going to just keep going. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it's better on Rokfin. If it's not, we'll have to figure out something. What would Big Bread do? He would just keep going. So anyway, we're going to establish the phenomena, right? And I've covered a little bit of this before regarding these weird little glitches that people have. I've speculated that are they doing something in their sleep where they're opening themselves up to the astral plane, and this carries over into their physical life, and they can see a little bit into the veil at times because they look very startled or scared, and they just glitch out like they're being taken over. And I talked about Bird Box, etc. Don't mention the Ethernet cable. All right, so hopefully this doesn't keep glitching too hard, and I'm going to share some screens with you. But most people have heard about MK Ultra, and in the video, which I hate you guys couldn't see it clearly, I mentioned MK Ultra, and it has been declassified. And this is where the U.S. Government, of course, has admitted that they researched how to implement mind control. And they used all kinds of things. Now, the mainstream just likes to talk about the LSD. They did use drugs, but they used torture as well. They used anxiety and fear and peak emotions, auditory versions of mind control, visual versions of mind control. And this is how they figured it all out. It's fine for me. I set it to 144p. Maybe do that. Maybe do that. Hey, the censorship's real out here, brother. I'm not stressing. So, all right, we know that MK Ultra is real. Now we're gonna figure out is that the simple explanation of all of this, and we're gonna go from there. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and share some information here. And there's a lot of information, which is why this is part one. I'll see if I can. I don't know what I could do to get the quality better. Hopefully, from here on out, but. First thing I want to show you guys, if you've ever heard of MK Ultra, you've probably heard of the Monarch butterfly, as it was called, Project Monarch at one point. And people think it's about the royalty and how they own them and numerous different things. But what's very interesting is and Kai figured this out. There's a butterfly named the Viceroy, and it imitates the monarch, and they look almost identical. This is because predators don't like to eat the monarch because they're not very nutritious, they don't taste good, they're not good for them, etc. So are they actually showing you maybe that there are copies of these famous people, right? Because the gravy has already started flowing. If you know anything about MK Ultra, did you know that there's a butterfly notorious for imitating it? And of course, they do show us these famous people, and they are always by these butterflies. This is a video. We'll go through this in a second. It's a bunch of the glitches, but I think the first thing that we should do is just ask the government if this is possible, right? Because, you know, I know a lot of people that are infamous for being truth tellers, and they really get triggered and they spiral about the cloning thing. Where's your proof? There's no way. This is the same type of people that will say they lie in the news on TV, and then they tell the truth of TV and movies. The same kind of people that will auto hoax anything. With the same people that will freak out. This is a bit of cognition. This is almost too much of a truth pill for some people. This is a big boy stream. They started attacking it from the beginning. I can guarantee you that the quality is better at Rokfin. You think that's a coincidence? It is not. Rokfin, compared to one of the biggest video processing companies in the history of the world, the biggest in the history of the world, put two and two together. But here's Bill Clinton talking about it. Let's see, because we need to ask the government if this is even possible.
Now, human cloning raises deep ethical concerns. There is virtually unanimous consensus in the scientific and medical communities that attempting to use known cloning techniques to actually create a human being is untested, unsafe, and morally unacceptable. 2 days ago, the Senate voted to take the time necessary to carefully craft a bill that will ban the cloning of human beings while preserving our ability to use cloning technology for morally acceptable and medically important purposes. Already, you have given us the scientific foundation for this debate. I thank you for that, and I urge you to continue to play an important role as the Senate and then the House considers this very significant issue in the coming year.
Yeah, what is going on right now? Anyway, Bill Clinton says, "Oh man, ban cloning. That's not good." So, we know we can trust him. So
cells into ones that resemble embryonic stem cells. I can also promise that we will never undertake this research lightly. We will support it only when it is both scientifically worthy and responsibly conducted. We will develop strict guidelines, which we will rigorously enforce, because we cannot ever tolerate misuse or abuse. And we will ensure that our government never opens the door to the use of cloning for human reproduction. It is dangerous, profoundly wrong, and has no place in our society or any society.
Interesting, Mr. Obama. Some say that you're a clone, but I don't want to trigger your guys' cognitus before I break it down enough. All right, so there you go. Nothing to worry about. Obama says they never did. It's profoundly wrong. And, of course, they have a moral guideline that's just amazing over there at that government, the entity that doesn't exist. So we go to the National Archives, the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act archives. And this is all you got. Cloning Prohibition Act, cloning legislation, human cloning ban. That's all you get. All you get. Prohibition fact sheet. No, we would never clone. And then, they cloned URLs. You get. So Freedom of Information Act doesn't bring anything. Now, this is where we're going to get into the gravy. I really do hate that they're messing with the stream, but it's the word cloning. It's the idea of cloning. What is cloning? It's just like how they love us to say flat earth. They love these phrases that they set up. So any truth, they label it themselves. They title it the most polarizing, the most absurd sounding. So we know things like open information that they cloned a sheep and it lasted 6 years, jacked up teeth, wasn't made correctly a few decades ago, right? And that's all there ever was. One group claimed they did human cloning, but no, there's no proof. They would never do that. And the DNA is incredibly, incredibly intricate, not even remotely close to being fully understood. And so could they ever clone? Now, here's where it gets interesting. People throw the baby out with the bathwater. And they say, well, there is no way that one could identically replicate via cloning a human DNA sequence, right? So there's no way that there's any truth to any of this. Well, that's interesting. We'll get into it. But I want you to know, stay put. Hear it out, because I was thinking similarly, and we will blow your mind. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do right now to go ahead and get you guys introduced into it, there is this guy. His name is, and honestly, his name makes me sketchy of him, because the CIA loves to make little like sexual references and their puppets, and it's really weird. But this dude just gave a bunch of audio letters from back in the 70s, and it's Dr. Peter. That is his name. But let's listen to what he had to say back in the day. And then we're going to build off this. It's 8 minutes. Hopefully the quality and everything is good. And I think this is very needed contextual foundation for all of it. So yeah, and then we'll show you some of the people that seem to be showing these characteristics.
In Russia, as well as in the West, research has been underway for many years in biological synthesis, that is, artificial life forms. And according to high intelligence, a stunning breakthrough took place in Russia some years ago. The Russians refer to this breakthrough as a providential discovery, something they learned almost by accident. They discovered the key to creating what are known as organic robotoids. An organic robotoid is an artificial robot-like creature. It looks and acts exactly like a human being, and yet it is not human. A robotoid is alive in a biological sense, but it is an artificial life form.
Oh, there's no way. This guy's got to be this guy's crazy. This guy's insane. There's no way.
Robotoids respond to conventional routine medical tests in the same way as humans do. They eat, they drink, they breathe, they bleed if cut, and they can be killed. Robotoids can also think, but they think only in the sense that a computer thinks. Like any other computer, the brain of a robotoid has to be programmed for each assignment it is given. But unlike many electronic computers, the biological computer brain of a robotoid possesses an enormous memory. As a result, robotoids can be programmed to communicate and think in such complex patterns that they act human. Organic robotoids are remarkable creatures, but they have many drawbacks. They don't grow or reproduce, but must be manufactured one by one in the desired form.
Okay, so one thing I want you to take note of is the idea of the way a computer processes information. It's limited processing, right? And for example, when you put a USB into a computer, it has to process and download the information. It has to actually process it, right? Now, I want you to think about how efficient the brain is. And if you were to try to make a knockoff version of that, right, what would that entail? We'll return.
They also have a very limited lifespan, measured in months or even weeks, depending upon how they are utilized. This is due to the fact that their metabolism, while it resembles that of humans, is very inefficient. A robotoid can be manufactured on very short notice, a matter of hours. But after a few weeks or months, it suddenly begins to degenerate physically and mentally.
Okay, so I don't want to bore you guys too much. I don't want to too much of that guy right now. He has numerous audio letters. I think number 46 is where he first talks about this. Who knows, right? This guy was really into the Cold War. He was trying to bust out certain things about the Rockefellers, etc. And he does have a history of qualifications where it's not some random guy talking crazy. He had a lot of pull and a lot of elite people around him. Now, does that mean we can trust him? Of course not. Now, so I started looking into this, and it's been a crazy rabbit hole. That's why this is just part one. I have so many windows open that I can't get to them. There's no way. One of the things we came across was this right here, and this very interesting has basically been scrubbed from the internet. And I will show you that in a second. And I want you guys to realize that when I look up flat Earth, I do get hit with a lot of misinformation, but I do have ability to find my way to the information. Parts of this have been scrubbed from the internet. I'm talking DuckDuckGo, Brave browser, you name it. You name it. This is a perfect example. Let's watch this. This is very interesting. And we'll talk about it in a second.
The man who had been permitted to watch the broadcast in the studio had given no indication of his intent. He had been sitting quietly until David Horowitz was ready to begin broadcasting his consumer segment.
Because, one of the nicest things about shopping by mail order. Pardon me? What is this? Let me see what it says. All right. All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
At that point, the control room was ordered to go to black, kill the studio mics, and put up a standby slide. But Horowitz continued to read, and the gunman kept the gun in his back.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. When I began receiving disturbing calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on, I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same.
Wow. Yeah. So I see that super, super choppy. I don't even know what to do. I would hate to watch this, honestly. Okay. So this guy goes and puts a gun to the news anchor, and he seems super chill. Super chill. I'll link everything for you so you can watch it where it doesn't look like it's coming through in 1958. I'm really sorry about it. Okay. So now you try to look into this. It's a very interesting story, right? It's like talking. This guy goes on the air, puts a gun to him and says, the government's doing this and this and this and this, and he makes him read it. Now, go look into it. You will never find the clip of what he says. You can't find it. I actually hope one of you guys can, but you can't. It's gone. It's gone. Okay, so I'm running video and audio on Rokfin and chat on YouTube is smooth. Where I bet Rokfin, surely Rokfin's quality is a little better. But anyway, so why? Now they cut the live news feed, and in a second they may take this stream down, and that's why you should just go to Rokfin if that happens. I'm just going to keep doing the stream. Because it's going to get real. If you look into it, you can't find out what he said. They cut the stream, or they cut the live feed of the news, but they did keep a camera on him, and they do have the footage. And every story that covers it, they leave out what he said. They leave out what he said. Now, if you do a lot of research, you can figure out what he said. Right? And this took a while to even find this. But let's cover it. So what he says is, my father is a CIA clone. The day the paranoid conspiracy theorists held a newscast hostage. Now, they will not show you this in that film or any of the films you find. If you don't, you do not hear it. You don't hear what he actually wanted him to say. Okay? Let's come down here. I'm going to show you the transcript of what this guy actually said. Now, obviously, this guy is misinformed, as we will find out here shortly. All right, so he got in because his dad used to work there as an anchor. So they let him in. This is what he said. This is what the comments he made him read. His physical father is, in fact, a clone created by the CIA and alien forces. The cloning is a part of a plot to overthrow the U.S. government. The CIA maintains mental retraining hospitals. Phones were turned off at Roham Psychiatric Hospital in Cincinnati for 48 hours after his arrival. A former CIA official had an interview on KPFK radio in which he told a college audience that the CIA has towed barges across New York Harbor that were disease-ridden, blah, blah, blah. The CIA have created AIDS and virus and blah, 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 blah. He demands that the Air Force release all information on UFOs. I mean, well, they've recently done that. He demands that the information about Hangar 18 at Wright-Patterson AFB be released. Good luck with that one. So we're going to come down here. The CIA doesn't trust people on computers. Individuals at the Optimist Boys School in Pasadena were recruited by others and given false IDs and birth certificates. Here we go. There is a secret group led by the president's own staff. There are beings around with power to teleport instantly and do the same to others who can read and control mind to transform matter into other forms and create it at will. Now, it does sound crazy, but if you know anything about the spiritual realm, it's really not that crazy. He asked for a congressional investigation and federal protection. And then he states that he cannot harm anyone with an empty BB gun. He then sets the gun down after he reads it. Now, the part that you'll never find was one of the first things he makes him read. They cut it out every time. Cloning is a part of a plot to overthrow the U.S. government, and that, in fact, his father is a clone created by the CIA. Okay, so weird, right? I mean, you have to really want to say something to go up there and like put someone at gunpoint to make a news anchor read it. And they cut the feed. But what is it? Now, it's a bunch of crazy stuff. There are no extraterrestrial aliens, but there are interdimensional entities. I've had experiences with them. I know that they're real. But, like, the question is, if it's so crazy, right, why scrub it from the internet? I get why you would pause it live, but why is it scrubbed, bro? Like, you can watch the most disgusting, depraved stuff on the internet, but you cannot watch this guy make this preposterous claim that his father is a clone from the CIA. I found that to be quite interesting. Oh, something else that's quite interesting. I was doing everything to glitch out the algorithms trying to find this. And I would type in looking for the guy held at gunpoint, and that the guy said that his father was a clone. And David Horowitz will pull up. They'll pull up a Wikipedia page of information on that guy. They know exactly what you're looking for, but the internet has scrubbed it. Okay, so that does not prove anything, but it is very interesting, and we know what they like to hide is typically what they don't want you looking at. All right, so we're gonna move on. Oh, I can't even play this as a music video, but this is one of the many where she's talking about. Actually, what I should do is read the lyrics. She's talking about being a clone, and all of these celebrities talk about being a clone, being a robot, not being themselves, like being brainwashed, etc., like being empty vessels. Oh, actually, I forgot to play this other video. This is what I'll do. I'm really sorry. Everything's been running perfectly smooth. My download's great until I went live. So, you know, sorry, I don't know what to say. But I want to show you. Kai actually made a video, and it's going to show you a bunch of these music videos. It's a dope video she made. So let's play that. Hopefully this works. And this is just a bunch of videos that put it in plain sight, and they love to put it in plain sight. And if you are not new to looking into the truth, you know this. So that's pretty crazy. So shout out to Kai. That video's dope. And like I said, we found so much that it's impossible to put it in one stream. Okay. But they put the truth in plain sight. So I saw some good questions in the chat, and so I'm going to let that basically lead where I go. Okay. So if clones were real, they would have already replaced the entire workforce. There'd be no need for us. So therefore, clones aren't real, bro. Ha ha ha. Okay. So everyone on the earth thinks the earth's a ball, and people said they went to space, and NASA's got to be legit. They went to the moon in the 60s. So, oh, earth's a ball, flat earth is dumb. Ha ha ha. So, I saw someone else with a comment, right? My boy Vaderberry. He's like, my only hiccup with the clone thing is how they have a divine spark. So I'm going to cover this right now. I'm going to go ahead and cover it. Okay, so there appears to be different avenues to attain some type of replication, some type of duplication, some type of person that resembles the other, right? Now, we do not have to establish motive prior to addressing a phenomena. We know this, right? Why would they lie about the Earth? Doesn't matter, they did, right? But we know why they would lie about this. It's abundantly clear. They have everyone brainwashed listening to celebrities, athletes, etc. Now, if they could replace them and have full control of them, why would they not do that? Now, this is purely speculative, but as of now, my theory is that they get you to willfully sell your soul, that you have to agree to sell your soul for fortune and fame, right? And we all know this. I've covered this in numerous streams. They admit it. It's not really like a crazy conspiracy theory or anything. They admit it. Okay, and I think that what they leave out is they are chipped. Okay, so when they make an agreement to sell their soul, they're agreeing to be monitored and tracked and basically controlled as a puppet forever. And they're microchipped. Now, they still are a human with a divine spark prior to this microchip. And if this microchip is anything like the mark of the beast, then they may lose their divine spark in that very moment. But they're still the original human. Okay? Now, I've looked into numerous. My hiccup was, is this scientifically possible? Okay? So I think just to go ahead and break through to the cognitus right now, I'm going to go ahead and address that part. Is it scientifically possible? The person I showed you, Dr. Peter Beater, this was in the 70s. He was saying that the way that they discovered this is they discovered the helix structure of the DNA back in the day, like the 50s. I think they maybe got the Nobel Prize for that in 62. And that scientists who did not get the Nobel Prize for this until long after, I want to say a couple decades after, discovered holography, a hologram. And then the laser was developed shortly after this. And so holography became a thing where our government knew about it long before they publicly admitted and addressed the technology 2 decades after the person discovered it by giving him a Nobel Prize. Now, what he said at the time, which there was no open information about at the time, was that the brain stores information like a hologram. And that's why it's so efficient. If you take a piece of paper, you rip it up, you ripped up the piece of paper. If you take a hologram and rip it up, it's still a hologram. You rip it up, it's still a hologram. You rip it up 1,000 times, it's still a hologram. And it'll start to get a little fuzzy, but it'll still be the whole picture. It's a very efficient mechanism to store information, data, memories. Of course, the creator gave this to us. Now, they have figured this out, and they, in theory, have learned to map out the holography mechanism of the brain, and therefore they can transfer that hologram. Okay? Now, I know it sounds crazy, but let's look into the science of it then, right? Like, let's look. Now, this is in the 70s, this guy was claiming that. Okay, so at the time, people were definitely calling crazy. I got truthers on here that know they lied about the Earth. They know that almost everything in history was a lie, and this right here trips them out. It can't be real. So you know this guy was just getting ridiculed left and right back then. And all that time has done is make this guy more credible. All right, so let me get the medical journals up. Here they are. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully the share screen doesn't glitch too much. I don't even know. Okay, here we go. Okay, so holography applications toward the medical field and overview. I'll link all this. Okay, so 3D holography is commercially available, disruptive innovation, which can be customized as per the requirements in supporting Industry 4.0. The purpose of this paper is to study the potential applications of 3D holography. Now, they go through a lot of different things like imaging, biomedical imaging, right? Okay, cool. That's pretty cool. Whatever, man. Whatever. Okay, we'll move on. 3D functional photoacoustic imaging of the human brain with the stretchable ultrasound matrix array. Okay, so what he said is that they use something called ultrasonic cerebral holograms. Okay, now this is in the 70s, bro. So let's look at the information now, okay? So because I wonder why the U.S. government came out and said we aren't going to do this. It's profoundly wrong. It's probably because they couldn't do it. They had no technology to do it. You know, they were just talking about in the future we'll never do this thing that we could never do anyway. And it's a cool story. They cannot imitate the creation of Yah. That does not mean that they cannot try to do a knockoff. The enemy cannot create, can only imitate. These people do not have souls. They are soulless. They are without the divine spark. Anyway, so this right here breaks down very simply how they get very efficient photoacoustic imaging of the human brain. Oh, okay, just a coincidence. This guy said that decades ago. 3D printed multifunctional brain windows for simultaneous optical imaging and electrophysiology. Oh, interesting. So there is something to this optical imaging using sounds, inaudible sound waves. Okay, acoustic holograms for bilateral blood-brain barrier opening in a mouse model. Oh, that's cool. 2021 though, right? So they're just now looking into this because they would never hide technology. See, if you're a truther, then you're saying it's impossible scientifically, right? I'm showing you it's clearly not. Massively parallel, high-speed, 3D functional photoacoustic computed tomography of the adult human brain. Oh, totally normal. Totally normal. The Brain Initiative, National Institute for Health. Totally normal. I'm going to link all this for you guys. There's no way I'm going to sit here and read all of it. I've read so much, it's insane. So here are some of the research project grants. Control of the time course of dopamine release through optimized electrical brain stimulation. Oh, control dopamine release. Oh, genetic and neural mechanisms underlying emerging social behavior. Oh, whatever. Just keep looking into this. Minimally invasive ultrasonic brain-machine interface. What? Neural mechanisms of transcranial current stimulation. What? No way. This is not. Quantitative diffuse correlation spectroscopy for assessing human brain function. No way. They couldn't do that. Brain Initiative, theories, models, and methods for analysis of complex data from the brain. Clinical trial not allowed. Now, this is the part I want you guys to realize, okay? Now, they have the science to do it. They're trying to get approval, but the clinical trials keep getting shut down, and they've been getting shut down for years because they're immoral to even the most degenerate people. They realize that there's a moral, ethical question here when it comes to ever even attempting to replicate a human, right? Most of them will tell you that the clinical trial was not allowed. Well, we know that these crazy psychopathic Luciferians would never do anything that the clinical trials weren't allowed, right? The last 2 years has really showed you they only care about being safe. Okay, so cross-beam transcranial ultrasound technology to stimulate the deep brain. What are these people doing at the National Institute of Health with the Brain Initiative? What are they doing? Brain Initiative Cell Census Network, scalable technology and tools for brain cell census. Oh, clinical trials not allowed. Huh. Oh, okay. Clinical trials not allowed. So they haven't done it. Guaranteed. When surgery to treat neurological conditions lets researchers peer into the brain, ethical questions abound. It's a window of opportunity. Wonder when this came out. Oh, January 19th, 2022. Why are they now talking to everyone about this right now? Why are they just now coming out talking to people about the capability of mapping the brain on a very intricate level? As they've now been very obsessed with everyone's DNA for the last 2 years, haven't they? They've effectively gotten a DNA test from majority of the world on cue. No. And now they're rushing them out because there's a few people that haven't. Now they're forcing and coercing them because I don't think it's just about getting genetically modified. They just need DNA information. Acoustic calligraphy, right? Numerous patents cited here. Okay, cool. Now, cloning fact sheet. Now, this is the National Human Genome Research Institute, National Institute for Health, and you know that they would never lie to us, okay? Have humans been cloned? Despite several highly publicized claims, human cloning still appears to be a fiction. No one's ever done it. No one could ever do that. We're going to come right down here. What are some of the ethical issues related to cloning? Okay. Gene cloning is a carefully regulated technique that is largely accepted today and used routinely in many labs worldwide. However, both reproductive and therapeutic cloning raise important ethical issues, especially as related to the potential use of these techniques in humans. Reproductive cloning would represent the potential of creating a human that is genetically identical to another person who has previously existed or who still exists. This may conflict with long-standing religious and societal values about human dignity, possibly infringing upon principles of individual freedom, identity, and autonomy. However, some argue that reproductive cloning could help sterile couples fulfill their dream of parenthood. You could just pray. Others see human cloning as a way to avoid passing on the deleterious gene that runs in the family without having to undergo embryo screening or embryo selection. Oh, okay, cool. But they're just talking about this. That's literally, it's all fake. It's all fake. They're all just begging for patent approval, begging for clinical trial approval, breaking down the science. I'm going to link it for you, and you will see for a fact that the science is in no way unheard of how to map the brain. And that's what we're talking about right now. So holographic lenses focus ultrasound for brain imaging. Wow, isn't that interesting? 2019. How'd this guy in the 70s know that? Huh? How'd the guy in 1979 know that? Because this wasn't a thing in 1979, was it? Interesting. Okay, so there you go. I'm not going to read all the medical journals, but I want you to know that once this stream is uploaded, you will have plenty of access to them. Okay, and the idea being that they can actually use the holography to transfer the current memories of the person. Now, when you asked why do they not replace the whole workforce? Well, because they're super inefficient. It's just only an imitation of creation. They have no soul. In fact, it is said that they don't actually have a very good survivability instinct, right? Self-preservation doesn't seem to be a thing. They just take orders, okay? Because they don't have any individual soul. They can only think like a computer. So why would they use them? They have humans that last way longer. They use these to control the masses. One of these organic robotoids, biologically synthetic android, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now there are numerous ways that this could be done. They could use organic matter and just formulate it relative to the shape they want it to. They could integrate it with a transhuman approach, a more robotic approach, right? And then the claim of this guy who just happened to know about holography, mapping the brain perfectly, because the brain worked that way before modern science or mainstream science ever even acknowledged the possibility. He just luckily knew that. He says that they replicate, they actually store the memory from the hologram, right? And then they just need a cell or two to get your DNA, and all they're trying to do is imitate the sequence. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is imitating the sequence and then putting basically a hologram brain in there. It's just made of wires. This thing is made of wires. No, it's not a human. No, it's not a clone in the literal word or sense of the word, where people think that you just get, you take a sperm and then you just take an egg and then you shock it with electricity and bow, human. No. Robotoids, like knockoff versions that would glitch out and be impulsive and break down. He says that their metabolism, although like that of humans, is incredibly inefficient, and they must be kept at cold temperatures so that their metabolism doesn't basically go so crazy that they die. And they can only last so long. Now, I know a lot of it is, I know I'm hitting you guys a lot, and it sounds like a lot. That's why this is just part one, because it's gonna take me breaking down these videos in depth for you. But I can assure you that I didn't just jump down this rabbit hole because I wanted to. All right, so next I'm going to show you guys a few of these videos. In a world. How dare you? Okay, we saw that. Here's an infamous movie everyone's probably seen. I'm sure it will not play very smoothly, though. The Sixth Day.
There's someone in my house with my family, and it's not me.
There's been a sixth-day violation. A human was harmed. That human was you.
Now, a corporation illegally cloning humans. They must eliminate their mistake. They're trying to kill me because there are two atom digits, and that's proof that humans are being cloned.
Oh wow, it's just a movie. Who never show you truth in movies. Were you some type of conspiracy theorist?
Invasion of the body snatchers. It's got no detail, no character. It's unformed.
All of a sudden, they're growing like parasites. Is it contagious? People are being duplicated.
How do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name.
I can't find anything in here that looks like a body. One side's nosebleed.
It looks right at me.
Oh man, just there's literally dozens of them, and if you combine the idea of transhumanism or a robotoid or some sort, it's ridiculous. We showed you numerous music videos, and that's not even close to half of them. But I want to show you. This was also in her video. Hopefully this pops up. Okay, so this is a Nicki Minaj tweet, right? My tears have dried, and I know that no weapon formed against me will prosper. Searching for people who can relate. Stop human cloning. Okay, now, and it shows you where she has an Instagram picture, like right here, where, what is this? On IG with my best friend forever. Oh, it's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here at all. And you may be asking, what does it matter? That's exactly what a Glober would ask, wouldn't they? You're suffering from cognitus. That's what it is. And we won't cover what it matters extensively. This is just part one. Buckle up. If you're not ready for the big boy streams, this is not the channel for you. Why do you think that they're being attacked? So let's watch Nicki Minaj, and let's see. Could this be some type of clone? I mean, she's talking about human clones, and she's posting pictures with someone that looks identical to her. She's saying hashtag stop human cloning, but no, there's no way this girl's a clone, right? Let's watch. Okay, I hate it's glitching, but okay, look. So she does this she just malfunctions. She just shuts down like a robot, okay? And she doesn't even realize it. Now watch her face as she realizes what she just did. Uh-oh.
Nicki Minaj.
Uh-oh. And just in case you didn't see it, I just watch it again, dude. This is the funniest thing. Yeah. Yo, that is weird. That is weird. All right, let me see. Because I've seen so many, I'm just going to see if I can find it real fast. Here you go. Check this out.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering how
Ages
everyone's
human.
doing. Hello, Courtney. Have we lost you?
All right. It looks like Courtney doesn't really want to go there with
I think
that
she's
question.
blanking me. I think she's totally blanking me
I
on
think
that
there's
question.
probably a PR person there saying,
Okay, so yeah, I mean, she was told. Someone came in and told her stop talking. She said they just came in. She looks super scared and she stops talking. So we know they have handlers. We know there's MK Ultra, right? So we know that they're basically under spells. They're MK Ultra. Do they microchip them? I think so. Have they been working on it and has been getting better? Yeah, so it probably wasn't that good. back in the day, but what you think it is now, where they're just about to do human trials with the Neuralink. No, like they're chipping people. They're selling their souls and they're getting chips. Okay. Now, once they start to act out or not keep the secrets or start to try to buck the system or start to fall out of line, they could either take them out, or if the technology was possible, you would replace them and you would have them start pushing your narratives, like how Eminem used to buck the system in all of his music, and now he's just a joke, right? Someone said that Tom MacDonald doesn't copyright his music on YouTube, so we're gonna find out, because I was gonna read this to you guys, but I'll just let you listen to it. Whatever. If it gets taken down, it'll be on Rokfin quality. It's probably better anyway.
Yeah. The Illuminati knows the answers, taking bone samples to clone rappers. With the artists in prison to silence their vision, genetic copies going home after. They look different, eyes shifted, smile mixing, skin lifted. It's scientific. If they can't control you, they erase the old. You get your duplication to enforce the message. Clone Gucci, clone Kodak, clone Eminem. He ain't rap since Encore. Know that cloning rappers when they overdose to keep making money from producing more tracks. The game is the sham, turning the artists who challenge the sacrificial lambs. The labels and devils are shaking hands, creating the artists and labs. Executions have been televised. They're on TNT like every night. They take our heroes, give us weaponized clones, but revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and the chains, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Belly and lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated, duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. System designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix that can't escape. I can't be replicated. If they killed the rappers who were spitting truth, they wouldn't have a messenger to reach the youth. So they duplicate physically, implant abilities, replicate tattoos and cloning facilities. Indie contracts say worldwide. Label contracts say universal. For all of time and all forms, they own all your music, your image, your name, and your person. Weird, right? I know you don't think that it's facts, but for $50,000 and a hair sample, you can clone your dog or your dying cat. It's another way for them to win the war by weaponizing important celebrities. Don't kill your foes, just clone their gods. Then you'll control all your enemies. The executions have been televised. They're on TNT like every night. They take our heroes, give us weaponized clones, but revolution won't be televised. I can't be replicated. Copy the attitude and the chains, but no one will ever do me the same. I can't be replicated. Try to control me, then guess again. Belly and lives in my DNA. I can't be replicated, duplicated, imitated, fabricated, eliminated. No, I can't be replicated. System designed me to be a slave. I'm the glitch in the matrix that can't escape. I can't be replicated. You can see the difference in their face now. Casualties of money and the fame. Posing for the cameras with that fake smile. A clone of someone who they used to be. I can't be replicated.
All right, we get it. So yeah, I'm not saying like, oh, Tom MacDonald's so woke, he knows everything, he never talked about the earth. I can't really tip my hat to him, but he is independent, which is why I can play his song and he probably won't copyright it because he owns his music and he literally said all these other rappers are clones and he talks about Eminem and he is a famous rapper. He's a famous rapper that lives in California. I mean, to think he would have no idea seems a bit naive. I'm not saying this proves anything. I just heard someone say, I think we learned about this years ago. I heard we learned this. Yeah, well, see, as of now, all the real big truthers, they distance themselves from cloning. They're afraid to talk about it. They love to talk about MK Ultra, right? But that's all they say. MK Ultra. MK Ultra what, bro? MK Ultra what? How are they remotely controlling people? They have to have a chip in them. They have a chip in them, but is that the end of it? It doesn't appear that it's the end of it. So anyway, we're going to keep moving on now. Now, there is a guy named Donald Marshall. He says a bunch of crazy stuff. And he claims that one of the ways that they can do cloning now is because it has progressed is they can actually, and it's going to require your will for sure. In your REM sleep, while you're sleeping, a clone can be activated. That's just a knockoff of you, but the REM of your consciousness can be basically utilized. If you wake up, then the clone would no longer have that activity. Now, that does sound wild to me, but also so does someone leaving their body when they sleep, doesn't it? That's definitely real. Sleep paralysis sounds pretty wild. Telepathic communication seems pretty wild. People waking up to dreams now knowing that they have to go do something or act a certain way, or that they're going to be faced with this big decision out of nowhere seems wild. But the sleep is something that no one here fully understands. And the Matrix told you, have you ever had a dream that seemed so real, you thought it just had to be real, but it was just a dream? Maybe it was real. So what are your dreams? Right? And anyway, so the interesting part of that is REM sleep, of course, stands for rapid eye movement. Now, the way that I see it is your brain, your conscious brain kind of relaxes, and your brain's able to more efficiently interpret a lot more information when you're in REM sleep. And that's why your eyes are moving so quickly. You're just processing tons of information. Your computer's in like hyperdrive, right? Now, if you were to make a knockoff version of this, you might would have some complications if they were ever trying to interpret too much data. Certainly, if there were algorithms in some type of a computer that was telling them to imitate human-like behavior. And this is all very important. If you don't realize what's been going on for the last 2 years, if maybe this should help you put some pieces together. They want everyone to become these things. The people that take the microchip and lose their soul, that's where they want everybody, right? And once your soul's gone, you have nothing. You have no divine protection. You have nothing. And so you think they just randomly got a DNA test of the whole world? I don't. I'm just glancing at the chat because I know people are spiraling and I just don't got time for it. All right, so I'm going to find this other thing. Here we go. I'm going to try not to overload you guys too much on this one. I really hate it because like everything got glitchy once I started. Like even my windows. All right. Okay, so anyway, this is a video where the girl, she just straight up says, like, she wakes up in a room and she's controlled, and did she get like whited out again, and what's going on, and she was just created in a lab and blah, 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 blah. Super creepy girl, but interesting nonetheless. Let's check this girl out here. Let's check out this news anchor.
Chief Client Officer of DigiMean. I want to talk to you about this jobs report. A lot of people are celebrating over it and talking about how great it is. But of course, there's the other angle.
What is wrong with this girl?
Explain that to us and why we need to look at that.
Absolutely. Well, we're in a very good position to talk about what's going on in the job market. We work with a lot of Fortune 1000 organizations.
This girl is not a human, bro.
What's ramping and areas of growth. We also work with quite a few staffing firms, and they're kind of the.
I can't do it. Anyway, we'll moving on. Another person on the news. Let's see what this news reporter's got to say.
That's a very good question. That's what everybody is wondering. We're getting word from the White House that they are slightly more optimistic than they were earlier this afternoon, but there's still no word of an official deal.
Why is she blinking so much?
They're getting close to, this gets complicated Washington inside baseball stuff, but they're trying to keep things going through the fall. So apparently that's what's in the works right now. It's far from a done deal. We do expect the Senate Majority Leader is going to come out and talk at about 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. Well, all of this is going on behind closed doors.
Okay, so this is the part. This is potential gravy. This is speculation, okay? As is a lot of this. So rapid eye movement, because the processing speed has increased whenever you are in REM sleep. Now, if these things are interpreting information quickly, like a computer, you put your USB in there, you see the light up a lot, right? It flashes, it blinks until it uploads and processes the information. If this is some automation here, then it's processing information live, and that's why she's blinking so much. And you're going to be amazed at how much weird phenomena happens with these people's eyes. Super weird. We won't even get into all of it in the stream. There's no way.
We do expect the Senate Majority Leader is going to come out and talk at about 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. Well, all of this is going on.
She's cold air in her face. Is she tired? Well, she's clearly just standing in front of a green screen, so I don't know why she would be. But if she is, then why is she in like 2 other videos doing the same thing? And the other one wouldn't load. That's why I don't even have it on here, actually. But this same lady just blinks uncontrollably everywhere she goes. I don't know. It could be a coincidence. So I don't even encourage anyone to watch this. This was one of the videos that was quoted in the video that Kanye made, and it's called "Famous" by Kanye West. Got 52 million views. You probably never heard of it. 5 years old. I never heard of it. Now it's inappropriate. It's just softcore porn, and it's still on YouTube. My 6th stream was kicked off YouTube for calling out the wars and saying, "Can we please stop orchestrating wars all around the world and having our friends die?" And it was pulled for inciting violence, and softcore porn still on YouTube. So anyway, I just went here. You see, Donald Trump's one of the people. Now, I don't even want to show you. It's not good. It doesn't matter. This video is so creepy, okay? And no one even knows it exists. And it's all these people, the official cover story is that they're wax dolls, okay? Most of the video, it's like 10 minutes. Music only plays at the end, and it doesn't even show the clones whenever the music plays. It shows a sundog, hilariously enough. And the whole video, it's completely silent with the exception of the breathing. The people breathing in and out as they sleep. And it's a whole bed of famous people. They look identical to the famous people. You see them moving. You see them breathing. You can hear them breathing. And Kanye West puts this video out with all these infamous people just laying in a bed asleep. Now, they say that it's just wax dolls. Okay. That's a cool story. I don't even want to encourage people to watch it because it's so vulgar and disgusting. Okay, but it is just naked celebrities sitting there sleeping, and you can hear them breathing, and they all look identical to the celebrities. It's insane. Look at that dude. You can tell me that doesn't look like Donald Trump? All right, anyway. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this guy, and then we're going to try and tie it in. I don't want to overload too much. Yeah, it's insane, bro. Like, only big boys are ready for this stream, I think. But I wouldn't even encourage them to watch that. That's disgusting.
When that takes place, the robotoid has to be removed from service and disposed of. To extend its useful life as much as possible, a robotoid is customarily cooled down to slow its metabolism between assignments. Organic robotoids are extremely expensive, troublesome creatures to produce and utilize. And robotoid capabilities do not exceed those of human beings. All they can really do is simulate human beings. But, my friends, for intelligence purposes, that's all they have to do. To produce an organic robotoid, it is necessary to have a pattern to go by. The pattern required is that of genetic coding, taken from a few cells from the body of a human being. In this respect, the Russian technique sounds like cloning, but the technique itself is totally unrelated to genuine cloning. A robotoid is produced within a matter of hours, and it simulates the human donor at his current age. Like any man-made copy of anything, a robotoid is never a perfect copy of the human that is to be simulated. There's always small discrepancies in appearance and behavior, but these are seldom great enough to arouse any suspicion. Last month, I revealed that the Russians can manufacture organic robotoids, which are almost exact carbon copies of real human beings. This is done by a process that simulates the genetic coding of the person to be copied. It sounds a little like cloning, but it's not. A clone of a human would itself be a human, but an organic robotoid is not human. It's an artificial life form, like an animal in some ways, but like a computerized machine in others. Every Russian robotoid has what is called a holographic brain. This brain duplicates essentially the entire memory of a person being copied.
1979, if you're just now getting to the stream, I just now went over about 12 medical journals talking about how the top tier of science technological advancement mapping the brain is using holography and acoustic imaging. And this is from 1979, and the medical journals that are available are all from the 21st century, most of them within the last 3 to 5 years.
The key to doing this is a new technique called an ultrasonic cerebral hologram.
An ultrasonic cerebral hologram, and I just now showed you guys, you got to be real here. I paused it again because someone said, so Westworld. Exactly, Westworld is once again showing you the truth in plain sight. As all these rich people go and they're able to live out their fantasies in a world that does not have repercussions, because if you were able to experience the sensory input of the clone remotely because of a chip and some type of holographic imitation, you can pretend you know what is or isn't possible, but you do not. You do not. Westworld showed you what the truth was. Jeffrey Epstein had an old Western imitation town right down the street from his infamous place that no one knew about in the middle of nowhere. The Clintons annually visited there, and he was openly a technocratic transhumanist. Why does he have a little Western imitation town in the middle of nowhere? Then Westworld comes out. They are showing you the truth in plain sight.
Using high-frequency sound waves, which are inaudible, a complete three-dimensional picture is made of a person's brain. This is a painless, non-destructive process, and under the proper conditions, it can be done without the person even being aware of it. Last month, I revealed that the Russians are using Nelson Rockefeller's hit list to weed out Bolsheviks here in America. And for roughly 3 years, they have been preparing for this day. They have been secretly making cerebral holograms of the people on the list at every opportunity. This has been done to every person on Rockefeller's list who has visited Russia or Eastern Europe in the past 3 years. When an organic robotoid is made to simulate, for example, our late President Jimmy Carter, 2 major factors are involved. One is the genetic coding required to simulate Carter's appearance, voice, fingerprints, and so on. The other is a holographic image of Carter's brain. This image is a complete record of the neuron patterns which existed in Carter's brain at the moment the hologram was made. Therefore, it contains all of the memory and knowledge Carter had up to that moment. When a Carter robotoid is made, the biological computer in its head is supposed to form according to the holographic record of Carter's brain. However, certain portions of the robotoid computer are caused to deviate from the holographic record. The end result is a biological computer, which has to be programmed, but which contains essentially all of Carter's memory, involuntary mannerisms, and the like. As a result, a Carter robotoid will automatically do certain kinds of things without the need for specific programming. For example, a Carter robotoid will seem to recognize old friends. That's because the computer memory of the robotoid reproduces Carter's memory of that friend. The holographic process puts it there automatically without the Russian programmers even having to know it's there. Organic robotoids are such amazing creatures that they are still a subject of questioning and debate. This is true even among the Russian scientists who made them a reality. For example, robotoids seem to have no true instinct for self-preservation. In this regard, they act like machines, simply doing as they are told to do. By contrast, both humans and animals generally have the instinct for self-preservation.
I just want to go ahead and read this for you guys real fast. In 1961, he was appointed by President John F. Kennedy and General Counsel for the Export-Import Bank of the United States, in which he served until 1967. Bader also co-founded a mining exploration company. He was the general counsel for the American Gold Association, and he got his degree in law from the law school of George Washington University. Now, of course, this doesn't mean anything, but I want you to understand that he did have very elite connections that are very verifiable.
Robotoids can be programmed for self-preservation, but they are equally willing, if willing is the word, to perform suicide missions. Exploratory one-way trips into space are only one example of this. If a space mission looks too dangerous to risk the life of an experienced cosmonaut, a robotoid can now be used. The robotoid copy of the cosmonaut is already trained the moment it's made, thanks to its holographic memory. Organic robotoids look and act so much like human beings that it's hard for us to get used to the idea that they are not human. But the Russians decided several months ago that the stakes are too high not to employ them. And so, the silent Russian invasion of America by robotoids is now well underway. As of now, the White House and Cabinet are under complete control by Russia. According to my latest intelligence report, only one member of the Carter cabinet is still alive. All the rest, including the ad hoc gang of four, have been replaced by Russian robotoids. Likewise, the United States now has a Supreme Court made up of 9 Russian robotoids.
Okay, so anyway, that's just I just wanted to show you guys a short excerpt out of his audiobooks. So anyway, your boy Tom talked about this guy. Anyone knows anything about Eminem? Very famous rapper, arguably the greatest of all time. Goat. What a coincidence that people love to say people are goats. Let's check this dude out. And the official story of Eminem, and I think I'm going to do a stream where I break down the individuals I suspect have been replaced in much more detail. I'm just trying to break the ice for you guys. This is just part 1. But anyway, the official story is that he went to rehab, came back, started being a completely different person. No, he just got clean. Well, that's a cool story. He still loves to throw devil horns up. I don't know where he all of a sudden became an amazing guy, but let's watch it.
What a pleasure for Herbie and me to introduce Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday night crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of one of his new videos called Berserk. Take a listen. It's headed for the top of the charts. So was that the great Rick Rubin who was helping produce that with you, Marshall, when you did that?
Yeah, sorry. Live TV. Live TV freaks me out a little bit.
No. For sure. That's what it was. For sure. Okay. Anyway. I want to come back over here. I just say that the quality is so bad. So to address everyone, right? So no, I don't think that they have some amazing capability to be able to do what the creator does. They do not. But if you think that technology is only as advanced as the mainstream has allowed you to think in 2022, and we're finding out that there are buildings we can't build, we can't even replicate ancient vases, we don't know anything about our history or the true mechanism of these buildings and why they were built in such a way with cymatic patterns that clearly look like they could harness atmospheric electricity. We don't, everything they've taught us about history is a lie. We know that the Watchers, if you will, they came down and they taught many things, and that Noah was the last pure one left, and there was all kinds of genetic manipulation going on and hybrids, etc. And so it's some little knockoff dumb version of a human that doesn't have a soul and deteriorates very quickly and has impulse control and very poor metabolism and breaks down and glitches out. Is that really impossible? Is it really impossible, right? They do not clone as if they have the ability of the creator to create, okay? But they can map out the brain more efficiently than they told you that they could. Now, can they imitate the brain? Can they go make their own brain? No. That's what they can only imitate. They need a willful contestant, right? They need the enemy knows that he needs your compliance. These people sold their soul. They sold their soul. That's all there is to it. So anyway, we're gonna come back over here. Let's look at. Let's see how much we can glitch your little cognitus out here. In a world. So Miley Cyrus was on the Black Mirror show. Here's the trailer.
The reason I'm here is to introduce to you Ashley too. It's really important to be who you want to be. Hey there, I'm Ashley too. It's so great to meet you, Rachel. You too. I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you. She doesn't understand how fragile all this is.
Do you think I should up the dose?
Knock 'em dead. Believe in yourself.
It's so hard to keep doing this.
Believe in yourself, Ashley. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Get the cable out of my ass! Holy shit! Pull it out! Oh God, that's a relief. We are friends.
Okay, so the episode is all about how basically Miley Cyrus is trapped against her will, and she's made to perform, and they basically use an advanced technology no one knows about today to use her brain as such. Now, many people that have come out and talked about this say that they need someone alive to fully do it remotely. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember what that... hey, Kai, do you remember what the name of that Miley Cyrus song is? You remember what the name of the Miley Cyrus song is where, what is it? Yeah, straight up robot. Okay, so let's read the lyrics to this song by Miley Cyrus. Just a sec. Sorry, I thought I was on the other screen. Over here. Now everyone knows a little bit about Miley Cyrus, and it looked like she was born into this a bit. So it's been like this from the start. This is a song by Miley Cyrus. One piece after another to make my heart. You mistake the game for being smart. Stand here, sell this, and hit your mark. But the sound of the still and the crush and the grind, it all screams, who am I to side my life? But in time it all dies. There's nothing left inside, just rusted metal that was never even mine. I would scream, but I'm just this hollow shell. Waiting here, begging, please set me free so I can feel. Hey, stop trying to live my life for me. I need to breathe. I'm not your robot. Stop telling me I'm part of the big machine. I'm breaking free. Can't you see? I can move. I can speak without somebody else operating me. You gave me eyes, and now I see. I'm not your robot. I'm just me. Interesting. All this time I've been misled. There were nothing but crossed wires in my head. I've been taught to think what I feel doesn't matter at all till you say it's real. I was screaming, I'm just this hollow shell. She's straight up telling you. Now, I get it, right? It's just metaphorical. She feels trapped in the industry, and they're all MK Ultra. Well, in case you guys weren't here earlier, I showed you. Okay, I showed you. Monarch, Butterfly, we get it. MK Ultra, very real. They mind control people. How? You think they just give people LSD, bro? That was in the 50s, 1953 to 73. And then the documents from 53 talk about LSD. And everyone wants to talk about LSD. They just brainwash them, and then they just say trigger words, and they have to have a handler. They do have to have a handler. There does seem to be trigger words. But what about when they're by themselves? How are they remote controlled? What's up with the glitches? It's just mind. You just say it's just mind control. You don't answer it. There has to be a remote implantation. The implant has to receive a signal. They are microchipped. And so basically the big red pill here, I want you guys to fully understand if you're not putting it together yet. They basically just gave the rich and the famous the mark first. Everyone got to go get the mark first. They think they're elite because they got the mark, and it comes with all these different advantages. But they lose their soul, and they quickly realize they regret what they have done, right? And if they try to speak out to warn other people, they get replaced. if they're still, and people say they still want to make money off of them. It has nothing to do with the money. Nothing. It has to do with their cultural pull. They don't care about money. They don't store their wealth in fiat currency of the U.S. dollar anyway. Now, can they also get tangible wealth from these actors? Sure. Oh my gosh, they really have to go through all the trouble to clone a rapper that makes them $3 million a year. No. It's because people listen to rappers. They're dumb. They're brainwashed. They want to know what Kodak Black and Gucci Mane have to say. They want to know what Drake and Nicki Minaj have to say. They want to know what the politicians and the news anchors have to say. What do the professional athletes have to say? So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go through some of these videos. And I'll wrap it up like that. I'll show you guys a little compilation that has a bunch of videos. And then for the next stream, what I'm going to do is I'll basically break down in more depth different examples of the phenomena that is clearly here. Do I know exactly what's going on? No. They have put it all around you. They're replacing the people you idolize. That's the big trick. They're not even real humans. They don't even have a soul. And we know that they sold their soul and that they're, MK Ultra mind control victims. But that's just a real easy way to distance yourself because the word clone scares you. And again, it's not a clone in the literal sense. Okay, it's like there's a few different options of how they could do it. Now, we know that there are test tube babies, in vitro babies, test tube babies. They're not, the creator didn't make them. I'm sorry if that offends you. That already exists. They use electricity. It already exists. Okay? And it makes them a baby, right? Now, the question is, can they replicate an individual? They have the same physical characteristics, right? But they have to actually integrate some type of biotechnological integration, right, to keep this thing running. And they try to their best they can to transfer the memory with calligraphy. I don't even know. I guarantee you, all the people that are saying they know cloning couldn't exist didn't even know that you could use calligraphy to map the brain, right? So it's like, let's just all step back. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I want to find this video. But oh yeah, so what I was trying to show you guys is this right here. What I showed everyone at the beginning was, yes, MK Ultra. Thank you, Commercial Sound and Video, for the $20 super chat. Much love. Chris, I saw you earlier. Thank you for the super chat. Much love. And then I saw Sky. Clones are real. Thank you for the super chat. All right. So I'll read the Rokfin. I'll read all the Rokfin donations off at the end as well. And we also have Cash App, $WitsitGetsIt, and Witsit at protonmail.com on PayPal. I'll read them all off at the end. And I'll try and keep up with the super chats on here. So what I want to do is come over here. Anyway, so Monarch, Butterfly, MK Ultra, you got Project Monarch, and that's why you see all these famous people always having the butterflies everywhere, the Monarch butterflies. But there is a butterfly called the Viceroy known for imitating the Monarch so that predators will leave it alone. Okay? It looks identical to it. You can just see slight differences if you look closely. Does that sound familiar? What are we doing right now? Are we trying to find slight differences? That will be what we're doing in the continuing parts. And that's the whole point. They were MK Ultra. They've been shipped. That's what MK Ultra is, in my opinion. MK Ultra means you've been shipped. In 2022, you've been shipped, and for a few decades now. That's what MK Ultra is. You just saying words, just saying the word mind control doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. Okay, so they are MK Ultra victims. I think they're microchips, and they show you with the butterfly, Project Monarch, and they replace them. They replace them if they need to. All right, so let me come over here and find this other video for you guys. Oh, whoa. Now I think my light went out. You guys aren't even able to see me now. See me now. All right, this video is pretty crazy, and I'll pause it for you, break it down, and then we'll just end the stream like that. I just have to find it. Bear with me. There it is. All right. Austin, you're crazy.
The moment and the magnitude of what this is to close out to be playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals, to say, no, we're going to play one more game, that was impressive. 108.
That could only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning two-time champion of the All-Star Weekend.
What's this dude? He just freezes here forever, too, by the way. He just stays here.
You are talented. I give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented.
Oh, he's just kidding.
You're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can actually.
They're dumb robotoid knockoff versions. They have multiple versions. They don't all work. Doesn't always come out the same. They're dumb. They have low mental acuity. They can easily now. A lot of this would also be similar with chips. This guy's still just sitting like this. All right, now I showed you guys this guy to change, just glitching out.
That's exactly how you have a certain amount of distance between the bodies in your eye.
Yes, like they say in Catholic schools, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today.
So, as they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost, as they tell the children to not get too close to each other, basically sexually perverting them and even giving them the idea. And as soon as she says that phrase, this guy just freezes.
The king of rock and roll, as Mark Cohn says in his great song "Walking in Memphis," there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king.
But it's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain.
This man is broken down.
Yeah,
this is a glitch.
I was a little down. I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or with another knee.
All right, so think they need implants to alter human behavior is baby truth or stuff. There is no hardware necessary. It's all frequencies. Okay, so sorry, I know my light just died, so I think I'm supposed to be wrapping the stream up anyway. But anyway, and I know that it's really bad quality. I'm sorry. I don't know what I can do. I mean, I know people are going to say it's the internet, but it's not the internet. So then you guys want to tell me what's going on. But anyway, and why is Rokfin so much clearer then? So, implicit in what you're saying is that they can manipulate everybody with frequencies. They can just manipulate everyone with frequencies. Is that what you think? You want to talk about being a baby truther? You think that they can just manipulate everyone with frequencies? No, bro. It requires spiritual compliance. Like, can frequencies affect you? Yes. Can you be affected in your REM sleep? Yes. Can you interact with entities there? Yes. Can you interact with entities outside of this physical material world? Yes. Okay. Now, if we're talking about literally controlling people and them malfunctioning, you think they just send frequencies out? They just send frequencies out. I don't know. I don't buy it. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up just because the service is so bad. I'm really sorry. Sorry, I'll chat with you guys for a second. If you guys have any questions of why you think this is crazy, then you let me know. Because I'm getting frustrated for you guys because every time I look at YouTube, it looks so bad. It's insane. Okay, so this guy from the 70s, it comes out and he says this. I didn't even discover him until many days into the research. So when someone told me something about cloning, we heard it out as a joke. We laughed. I then looked into, I immediately thought there's no way the DNA is way too complicated. They're making discoveries all the time, how they don't even understand it, but just because they replicate it. They don't even understand how the brain works or stores information. That is a mainstream thing thrown around a lot. And when you look into it on the mainstream side, you will see, well, we don't really understand the brain. And Elon Musk says we don't really understand the brain and neuron activity, etc. And we don't fully understand the brain. We can't fully understand how it works. Now, does that mean that you can't just hijack it? Right? Like, crude example, but I can have a real person over here. I can draw them, and I don't have to know how to make a person, right? I can make a model dummy of someone. It doesn't mean you have to actually understand it, right? If you understand how it stores information and you imitate that process, you don't have to actually understand all the intricate connections and neuron interactions. all you know is that you are making a holographic replication, right? So I think Biden's a clone, just saying, no, none of these people are clones. No one could ever be a clone. You know, people just glitch out and change. They look completely different day after day after day after day. If you think MK Ultra and frequencies explain why the actors and actresses and politicians and news anchors look different the next day, then the next day, then the next day, is that why does MK Ultra explain why all of the really famous people don't appear to age any? Does MK Ultra explain that? Does MK Ultra explain why all the famous people scream out saying that they're not their real selves and that there's like a robot version of them? Is MK Ultra why the famous people come out and say that they were microchipped? Is MK Ultra why the famous people come out and say that they know about cloning centers and they get completely wiped off of everything or they die? If all you can talk about is MK Ultra and frequencies and LSD from the 50s, you're the baby truther. Only baby truthers get triggered about this conversation. All I'm saying is, if you're triggered about it, you shouldn't be here, bro. Like, I know a lot of you are not ready for this. I know you're not. It's a heavy thing. It's a crazy thing. But They Live showed you the truth in plain sight. Okay? All these movies showed you the truth in plain sight. All these TV shows, all these music videos, they showed you the truth in plain sight. Is it as drastic as They Live, where they're all around you? I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if they're mixed in and they glitch out all the time. And yeah, that's about that. I have proof of Biden. His ears were something. It's hiding them. So yeah, clearly, like Hillary Clinton, and we're going to get more into depth of the people. I wanted to establish the actual phenomena. The phenomena is very real. The people glitch out. The people scream out for help. People claim that they're clone. They claim that they're microchip. We see them change appearance. We see them remain young. We see them come back completely different. We see them not remember things from their past life. We see them glitch out and slip over their words. We see all kinds of things. We see them come back with tattoos different. So Kodak Black goes to jail. And when he gets out of prison, all of a sudden he has different face tats. And Gucci Man goes to prison, all of a sudden his face tats are different. His entire face is different. And all of a sudden he's just jacked, looks real good. Eminem goes to rehab, comes back completely different. No, they're just getting healthy. No, they're not. No, they're not. Like, they're being replaced. Getting healthy doesn't make a tattoo physically move down your face. So I'm just trying to address the phenomena honestly. Many people are trying to deny it. And like, that's why I understand why Brian Staveley gets so frustrated. Because I don't agree with almost anybody's opinion on how Mandela effect happens or anything like that. I don't. But there is a phenomena that is real that should be addressed. And if no one addresses anything and acts like it's just not real, well, then you're wrong. The phenomena is still there. So that's basically what it is. I hate that the quality is so bad on the comeback stream. I'm really sorry. Hopefully the Rokfin's better. Actually, let's see if I can come over here and let me see. Thank you, brother, for all your hard work. I know it's not much, but here you go. Thank you, Brandon Palms, for the tip on Rokfin. Much love, bro. Don Lemon, CNN. Is there a video of Don Lemon being a clone? I'll check it out. I think I want to call them drones, but we have to absorb the word. It's just like flat Earth. I mean, there's a topographical plane that's stationary and geocentric and contained, but like, I'll never back down from the word flat Earth either. You think they can move consciousness from one vessel to the next or only copy? Thank you, Keithbox, for the $5 tip. I think that they can only copy. I do not think consciousness transfer is a real thing. I think if it is, it's only partial. It's very limited and primitive. It only has certain parts of it. I think it's actually spiritual undertones in which people are giving up part of them. They give up the control to their consciousness to demonic entities. And they can empty your vessel out. And once there's no spirit in there, why can't some other type of spiritual entity enter it? Can they fully transfer consciousness? I don't think so. I think that will be part of the great deception that they tell you they can when they bring the mark. But I do not think that. And that's why I really want I hope you guys are listening, and I hope the audio is coming through enough, because I'm taking a very realistic approach. Austin, what's up with the yin yang sign? That's about the sun and the moon moving over top of the flat Earth, and the femininity and masculinity within the light for the night and light for the day. That's what it actually means. So I don't, it's got occult origins, really, because it's thousands of years old, about the sun and the moon moving over top of the Earth. Anyway, all right, so the light died and the connection's real bad, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But thank you guys for the support. I didn't see any cash at PayPal. If I do, I'll get to it. Also, I'll give you guys a bit of updates before I wrap it up. Going to drop some exclusive content on Rokfin from behind the scenes that I can't post here. I got my motion of discovery documentation from Yellowstone today, and I just want to read it to you guys. I think it's hilarious. Like, I'm not scared of them at all. I want to read it to you guys at one point, and I'm going to show you the GoPro footage with the cop there, and at Rushmore, and the Jabba Dabba Doo activism. So that there will be right now, if you watch the stream, which probably has better stream quality on Rokfin, it's free. All 3 streams have been free. But I will put some premium content up there for some behind the scenes stuff. So if that's going to make you mad, I mean, you're weird. Hey, Austin, watch the Island, good cloning movie. Maybe. Like, there's lots of cloning movies. I'm not big on movies. Like, I've never seen Westworld. I just know it's about, right? I've never seen The Sixth Day. I don't really watch movies, but I'm sure there are quite a few. Congrats on your matrimony. Thank you, man. Oh, yeah, in case anyone here didn't know, Kai and I are getting married in the middle of March. So, should be cool. Should be cool. People were asking me if I have like a P.O. box or something that you can send us something. I do not have a P.O. box right now. So I might set one up. I don't know. But we also don't have just like tons of room for items in the RV, So. But yeah. And if of course, if you send a donation or anything and you say something about it, I will just read it off. If you need any help getting documentation together or research, I've been plugged in with Crow and Alphonse for years now. Awesome. Nice. Yeah, I know Alphonse some, and I think it's all good. Just going to slam on with a bunch of affidavits. Give Austin use some tie-dye flat earth histories for your activism. Well, I should probably not leave the Rokfin chat hanging. What are you guys talking about over here? Never weird to provide premium content. You put a lot of work into your research. Saves us a lot of time. Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem, bro. Thank you. Duality symbol. Yeah. Dude, if the depiction of the sun and the moon trigger you, man, I don't care. Like, dude, it's just like the tree of life, right? Like you can say it's bad if you want to. Keep marriage out of the legal system. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Are clones and transgender related? I think it helps explain that phenomena too, because actually one of the problems with calligraphy is the skull, the density of the skull, and how it actually affects the overall resonance of the calligraphy and the acoustic mapping. And there's a difference in male and female, and I think that when they're doing this, they're kind of just like throwing all kinds of things around it, and they may even be like just taking like DNA sequences the best they can map them out a few different ways, because we can map out DNA sequences relatively accurate. We can't get anything beyond that. We don't actually understand it. We don't fully understand the complexities of it. It's way more complicated than we know. There are parts of it that we claim aren't even used, and they clearly are. Same with the brain. They say there are entire areas of the brain that are not even used. It's all used. It's all there for a reason, and they just don't understand it. This is mainstream science running around with their head cut off, just like the people think that outer space is a vacuum. But here's the deal. Can someone tell me why the guy in the 70s knew that the most efficient way to map the brain was calligraphy and using like inaudible high frequency sound waves? Because that is the way that you do it. That I just showed you the National Institute of Health in 2022 telling you that's how you do it. So how did he know that from the 70s? And this guy was around those circles. Was JFK good or not? I mean, good question. JFK appointed him. They live, shows you that they're all around you. Right. So I don't know if you guys think that everything else they put in the movies was real, and then they just talk about clones, zombies, transhumanism, and robots over and over, but nothing's going on. But they're glitching out. They're breaking down. Some of them are calling out for help. Why did Nicki Minaj say stop human cloning? Why? Why did B.O.B. speak out about cloning, get completely shadow banned on everything? If we said it was for the earth, but was it? He talked about way more stuff than the earth if you listen to it. Tila Tequila, aneurysm. You don't talk about cloning. It's weird, bro. You know it's weird. I've gone through all kinds of avenues. Are they being deceived in their sleep and they believe there's something to this cloning thing? Are they basically giving up? Did they agree to sell their soul now that they can be utilized in their sleep? Is this why they're always afraid to sleep? Is this why so many famous people say they don't have dreams anymore? Because they're actually not consciously there. They're in their REM sleep. They don't get to experience and interpret their dreams. Like, what's really going on? I mean, they have a clear motivation to replace these people, just like they say they replaced Paul McCartney, but they use an actual double. And they've been using doubles for a long time. And actually, the word on the street is that doubles are more efficient because humans last way longer, and they can typically be used way better, right? You have the risk of a loose end, but they still use doubles, and they use facial surgery the best they can to make them imitate the other famous person, and they just keep replacing them. But at times, just for small limited appearances, they could put out something that he would call, Dr. Peter Bader would call organic robotoid, synthetic, biological synthetic, basically. It would be wires. It would maybe have some metal, and then it would be integrated with actual biological matter, and it would just be like a vessel of emptiness with no soul, and an imitated computer brain, right? Because your brain is a computer, and they just use holograph and transfer it over, put that same hologram in the other created entity. That's all they did. They don't fully understand it. They don't fully know all the memories. They can't map all the memories. They don't even understand the actual neural pathways of the memories. They don't have to. They just know that this thing is now obedient without soul or character, and now can be turned off on a switch, and they just need to make public appearances. And you people still worship them. There are truthers that still worship the football players, still worship the basketball players. We're going to get into it. They move in unison. Why do they move in unison? It's just like, I won't say anyone's name, but some truthers, right? They'll say, like, all the sports are rigged. All professional sports are rigged. Well, I played football. I know it's very difficult to do that. How would you do that? Well, if you had some type of physical control over the players, you could do that. All you need is the refs and the coaches in the pocket. You control. You don't even need the coaches, just the refs, and just have a few of the players with a microchip, or to not even be legitimately people. And they glitch out all the time. MK Ultra, sure. Why do you think they wouldn't put chips in people? Do you think that if someone was coming up and tried really hard to be famous, and they said, hey, we're going to give you everything you want. You're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be famous. There are going to be certain things you're not allowed to talk about. And we need you to agree to basically sell your soul. You take this microchip, and now you're tracked. So there's no turning your back on us, right? Like, if you break the agreement, we can break our agreement. They keep some version of an honor code as they make you mess up and break the contract. Then maybe they take you out and replace you, or just take you out. So anyway, the reason that's interesting is because they just got a giant DNA symbol from the entire world. They've lied to us about the science of the brain. They're now coming out this year saying they want to run human trials with Neuralink, an implant in the body where it can even be bypassed. The blood-brain barrier can be bypassed with the veins and the arteries. Now they're giving everyone stuff in their body and their veins and their arteries. They're now coming out with science after it's been heavily suppressed, talking about the push for transhumanism and how we need to get the acoustic hologram mapping of the brain imaging down in order to do it, in order to achieve transhumanism. They're only releasing it, drip feeding it out to the public to get everyone ready to accept it. And they will only admit the technology is real once they want everyone to partake. And right now, it's like this little in circle of elites that do it. So there's that. The fuzzy TV preacher. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, man. They attack my streams. Hopefully, Rokfin's better. But anyway, there you go. That's the conclusion. I want to play Kai's video again because I know it has good quality. And just really pay attention to the details. This is just one of many music videos. Music videos don't prove things. Fiction movies, novels don't prove things. But we know that they communicate with symbols. We know they communicate with media, and they love to put the truth in the middle of everywhere, right in front of you, just like Homer Simpson wrote the God particle equation 10 years before it was discovered by mainstream media, right? Like they put the truth in plain sight. So I'm going to play that video, and then I'm going to get out of here. What's up, Bob? Sorry that I know the quality's super bad. I don't know what to do. Talking about They Live, Austin. Not sure what you're talking about. Oh, the fuzzy TV preacher. Oh, is that on the movie They Live? I thought you were talking about me because that's what I am right now. All right. Anyway, let me come over to this video and we'll play it and just really check it out. I don't be scared of it. Like this is the thing. This is the thing, right? Like there's nothing to be scared of because these things are like retarded. Like they're dumb. They're like, they break down, bro. They break down. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Nicki Minaj literally broke down like a robot. So, they're organic matter, but they're synthetic in the sense that they aren't real humans. Anyway. All right, cool. So I am super salty, low key, about how bad the quality is. I'm really sorry, but I'll try to find a way to figure it out and then put some stuff together. If I have to, I'll just make an edited video in depth explaining it. But anyway, yeah, just keep an open mind. Announcement why I'm going to start a new show. Obviously, I can't be hosting guests on here with this type of quality. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on, but and, you know, to try to ensure like super high, like basically fiber optic type speeds on the RV, like crazy expensive. But I still have pretty good internet and everything was running super smooth, like iMovie, you name it. And so I went live. But I actually started glitching out right before I went live. Wouldn't even download my video and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Kanye and I are getting married in March. Thank you for all the kind wishes and congratulations. And I think we may try to get a bunch of flatters to hang out a couple days later on the spring equinox on the 20th. I'm in Florida if you're in the area. I'll be starting a new show called WitsitGetsIt with and have a bunch of different guests on. I have to ensure this is better. I will be on Mellow tomorrow or Wednesday. So go to Awesome Austin on YouTube and Rokfin, and I'll be on there as a guest Wednesday. So shout out to him. That's my homie. Got a couple other interviews, maybe a couple debates. Of course, we got the Glowbusters. We're working on a new song. Should be super dope. That started back Sunday, so every Sunday we'll be doing that. I'll be going out and doing some activism, also some jabba dabba do, stay organic. That's what it do. Type vaccine or type activism. That'll probably just be on Rokfin. I have some exclusive that will also be on Rokfin. This is on Rokfin for free. I'm hearing that the quality of the video is not any better on Rokfin though, so I'm super salty. Congrats. Thank all you guys. Much love. And yeah, if you send anything to support the channel or anything like that on Cash App or PayPal, I'll read them off the next stream. And hopefully it won't look like it's from 1939. So with that being said, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So it doesn't really matter what other people think. Who cares? Strong people don't care what weak people think. Intelligent people don't care what ignorant people think. And informed people don't care. Or intelligent people don't care what dumb people think. Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. Real ones don't care what fake people think. And in fact, whenever they revile you for his name's sake, rejoice for they did it to all the prophets before you. We live in a crazy world. They just now did a gigantic DNA compilation across the world in a matter of 2 years, because now the people that have not partaken the whole time and they're threatened with the fact that they can't keep their job or travel, etc., they're now submitting their DNA. They've got a massive DNA sample. And so what really is DNA? What's the complexity of it? Could it be better understood? Could it be replicated? Could it even be imitated on a very low level? Are these figures that run the world on the screen even real people, much less nearly as powerful as people think that they are? The answer is clearly no, they are not nearly as powerful as people think they are. Hillary Clinton, this and that, that's a puppet. Did you not see my video with Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton is either in a trance because he's hypnotized, or he's just like not even a person. He just wasn't turned on yet. So yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but look into it. I will link all the medical journals once everything uploads, and you can see how you can map it down with calligraphy. I'll show you. Just look up Dr. Peter Bader, and you will see a whole bunch of information on it. And obviously, everything that dude says is not true. But you want to tell me how he knew the science that wasn't publicly admitted or even supposedly known about 5 decades before it's come out on how to map the brain? Feel free to let me know. So anyway, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. The point is that everything around you is a facade. They want to move everyone towards where they have these puppets that people idolize. They have no soul. They're controlled. MK Ultra probably lead ships, probably taunted in their sleep, probably have no conscious control over their consciousness or anything like that. They want to move the whole world that way. And are they doing some type of robotoid intervention with these people where they just have to make public appearances for 1, 2, maybe 3 hours? It does seem that way. And the reason that it's important is because they're moving everyone this way. I will try to ensure better quality, and then we'll do a part 2, and I'll really break down what all's going on, because the rabbit hole is just super deep. I wanted to show you guys that it is scientifically in the realm of possibilities, It is not what you think it is. And just because the government says they're not going to do something doesn't mean that they don't do it. So there's that. The knowledge of the commandments of Yahuwah is the doctrine of life. True that. True that. Get a relationship with Yahuwah and Yahusha. Or Yeshua. Tell them. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to catch up with you on the flip side. Like a coin toss. Yeah. So shout out to all the real ones on Rokfin. Thank you for all the tips. I think I got all the tips. Much love. Did I miss one? Keep it up, broski. Yeah. Thank you for the kind words. Support with the tip on Rokfin. Keith Box. Much love, bro. And hopefully I didn't miss any. All right, cool. Yeah. So anyway, I'll catch up with you later. Till then, peace out. The earth is flat. Oh, yeah.
Running through the cities in the last of days. Gotta face the truth, this is the masquerade. Waking up the public, time to liberate. Oh, you're doing great when they start to hate. In a world, yeah.
Stockholm Syndrome got me fighting with the slaves. But how they about to face the truth when they can't show their face? Now the system don't control me, yeah, the beast is getting slayed. Austin got the pout, they look sour, oh behave. But I'm about my father business, witness, he gon' get this praise. I ignore you cause of Torah, only thing that I obey. I ain't with the social distancing, but I'ma need my space. They be boring me with quarantine, so stay up in your place.
This is the masquerade. Waking up the public, time to liberate. No, you're doing great when they start to hate.